I promised my members a home. And in 2018, I was chairman when we purchased this place. It was not looking as beautiful as it is looking, but we got the property, and we thank our president and Amir for the work you put in to give us a very nice facility. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Alexander. This is the Rwanda.
My name is Imran Patrick. I'm the representative representing OAP as a council member. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alan Mgali. I'm a council member.
Good morning. My name is Jane Ohanike, and I'm Public Affairs Leader for Africa, ACC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Evelyn Siri. I lead the ACC's policy and insight work across India and Africa.
Hi, I'm Mansoor. I'm coming from Dubai. I'm part of Hawk International US. I am part of the GCC business. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Brian Hawk of Hawk International, and it is a pleasure and an honor to be here as part of this wonderful event.
John Long, BCC Director for
Good morning, everybody. I am Aida Majid. I'm ACC's Global President. I come from Pakistan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in Africa, in Rwanda in particular, attending ACOA. I'm so happy to see and be part of this beautiful event at the launch of this lovely office of ICPAR. So thank you so much.
I'm Amin Miramongo. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Strategy Accountants of Rwanda. You may be wondering why we have ACCA here. It's people that will come together from very far. Coming from, coming up with the strategy, the initial strategy, 2017-2021. I think that was, it's the one that set the foundation of where we are today. So with all these things that you're seeing, they were dreams. They were dreams, we didn't have anything. Just to put things into perspective, when I became CEO in 2017, we were renting a small office. It was around 138 square meters in the current University of Kigali. When you come here, you should have seen that building. So people would ideally mistaken us for a department within the university. Yeah, and we wanted to be here, but the reality is that we're still down. So we had to really any reasonable property that we thought would be befitting an institution like ICPAR that we dreamt of at the time. So I remember with my chair, because sometimes we are all educated people, we all think we are smart. So sometimes that gets into the way of the work. But they gave us the trust for the first time. And we said, even if we get fired, but we think it's the right thing to do. So we took that particular loan and a residential home, and we said we were going to start, some serious work around it. And it was a blessing in disguise for us. I said, hello, we are not doing very well, we can't pay you, but we still need more money. I said, are you out of your mind? I said, you ate those rains in the Roman era. Yes, so because it was an abandoned place for a long time, it was raining there, even the kids were even afraid that even bandits would come, and we said, okay, so if that is the case, then we're going to use our internal resources, whatever service, so that even the partners that we're working with have the trust in us that when we believe you can get something. So in brief, that was it.
Le salaire, je suis le nouveau Madame Keto, aussi avec vous, avec des collègues, avec des professionnels du Rwanda et de partout du monde, de l'Afrique, dans notre milieu professionnel convivial.
I'm very happy to be here among colleagues, among different colleagues from different countries, the UK, the US, across Africa. I'm really very happy.
Je tiens à remercier ICPAR et toutes les et le président, le CEO de ICPAR. Et je tiens à les féliciter et les remercier le succès de la croix de 2025 sur tous les niveaux, organisation, qualité des intervenants, accueil. Donc nous sommes vraiment très gâtés et nous exprimons notre immense gratitude envers ICPAR.
We are very glad and we can't thank enough ICPAR for having organized a wonderful call and also the government of Rwanda for the support. We can be able to prove
Pour ce beau siège et pour cette belle cérémonie. C'est du travail dur qui continue. Donc, merci Amine pour cette invitation. Et je pense que et vous allez continuer à travailler avec le même engagement.
Yeah. I would like also to congratulate you for this wonderful headquarters, for the hard work that you've been able to do. It's really wonderful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Wow, a very good morning. Coming after our incoming president, I just feel I should have set that side, but then also it's such a privilege to go as far as your vision takes you, and just seeing this vision come to life. Big congratulations to you and your team. This is testament to your leadership. Sitting here also, leading the PAO, just a kind reminder as well, that this is a home. We are privileged to be here, in the home of ICPAR, the home of your members, where we know that this is a place where the members will be ignited and also will have their hopes as well lifted up to realize they're unlimited from growth to growth, because the strength you do have as you've been moving from strength to strength. So big congratulations, and I wish you many more blessings. So thank you. I'm so sorry. So I'm Patricia Stock. I'm standing here in the capacity of a PAFA board member and IFEC board member.
So I'm Jean Roucault, to present myself. It's for the benefit of everyone. I was born in Africa, in Senegal. And it is really a privilege to be with you after a wonderful week at COAB meeting, ACOA 2025. Would congratulate, like some of my colleagues have already done, but really from the heart, congratulate President, congratulate CEO, and thank you so much to the country, Accountant General and the ministers who have demonstrated that ICPAR is not only part of Rwanda, but it's part of the success of Rwanda, of the and of course of the construction of our profession throughout the world, and especially in East Africa. So it has been a wonderful week, wonderful because the lessons that with this building, Mirago, is having roots, and you have roots. You demonstrate it every day during those 4 or 5 days, and unfortunately I will not attend tonight, but I'm sure this will also demonstrate your roots, but also your capacity to engage and to bring the whole profession, I don't know where, because it has gone so fast and so well during the last years. We remember not so long time ago, and you have done so much that I really commend each of you, presidents, CEO, and all members, for what you have done, for the example you give us, and as a profession. I'm really honored to attend this meeting and congratulate you, and thank you for everything.
Yes, I hesitated so as to follow the protocols of someone telling me to stand up. And anyway, good morning. ICPAR observed. For me, as the former president, number 4, he introduced, on the number line, I've been part of this institute since before it was formed. August, we who are given the task by the national authorities and the national well-wishers to form this institute. So this what you see here was in our mind. I'm reminded by someone who said, you go as far as your vision can take you. And say 16 years, then that it would be this. Yes, our CEO, Amin, said, we are supposed to be here, but we are here. No, I say, we are supposed to be here, but we are climbing. The trajectory is quite impressive. Not to go into the mathematics of Kombo's knows how to fire a projectile. When it goes to when it hits perpendicular to the horizontal plane, it falls down, and the object that it meets, it gets fired. But I'm not a military man, so we shall not hit that perpendicular to the horizontal plane, because we are supposed to be climbing and climbing and climbing ad infinitum. But my name is Obadiah Biraro. You have R in between. R does not represent Rwanda, but the other name. I am known as the historian of this profession, and I mean the company normally forgives me for that insertion. Is there any member of CA here? Chartered Accountants of England and Wales? You used to be. Okay. Historically, where we are is a product of the history of this profession, at least wherever it started from, as far as I know. That is, I do challenge these guys, for those years you have had, that in 1896, the Queen Victoria, who was the daughter of King George, I think, went out of Birmingham Palace in the evening, in the afternoon, sorry, to bestow the Royal Charter to the Institute of England and Wales, CA. That's how it was born, 1896. Get your calculator if you can't work mentally. 1896 to 2025. How many years are those? But maybe we are not alone, because this SEC you see here, I think did their first exam 1904. 1904. Yes. You can imagine how tough that exam was. There was a question about inventory. I don't know who passed. Yeah, so again, get your calculator if your head can't work.
121 years.
About 16 years later. But we are here. So how did the CA of England and Wales look in 1896? how did SCA look in 1904? And by the way, what SCA might remember, in 1904, there was the case of historian of this profession. But I'm president of the ICPAR in Rwanda, befittingly. Which year of 4th July? I keep repeating it so that it goes down properly, Medul Brongata of all table, accountable to ourselves and to all those strategic stakeholders. So he said, we have chosen to be accountable, we have decided to think big. So that's what I mean to have the whole. They were not using GPS by then, because I don't know if they knew it. But the GPS, and so today is such a memorable day, and the milestone, I mean, will tell you when the time comes. Milestones, they could have done it any other time, but by telepathy. This is the day. I wish there was a Miami, do you know? But Keto, I think, I know you know this song. This is the day. Did you sing that in primary school? Rejoice and be glad in it. Then you start again. We will in another tone. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That's good. So, Ben Walid, there we add mashallah. Mashallah, including our friend. Ana mushkida Arabic, shwesh. So, sokro mashkwesh, mashallah. Very good. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you so much. Because he's not a very simple guy. I would like to thank the Institute of ICPAR so much. The president of ICPAR, but I'll still speak them. I thank ICPAR for the accord. I've just loved it. I've just enjoyed it. I've just, it's been, you started this journey when I became VP. And there was this, and we didn't know it would get here. But eventually, we have had a core Rwanda. Me, Biraro, past leaders. You know what past leaders are called in Uganda? Oh, you don't know? Past leaders.
No translation.
No translation. Thank you so much. About the journey. I'm like, how did you manage it? Because the hurdles were so huge. But you need a home. You need a home for the professionals. I know yesterday Robert says CPA, but I am CPA, FCCA, Ketokai. When I get my board position, that made me what I am. I'm not doing it for the purposes of Keto being up in the air, but I'm doing it for the purposes of saying thank you for CPA, thank you for entering the profession and the home. And we kill ourselves. 5 hours, 8 hours we are in the profession, then we run home. Then we are lost in there trying to manage home and the profession. I left the G, I went back to the institute. And that's how I became the PAFA boss. That's how I got what I got. What am I saying? The institutes that we have are the homes where we belong. $1 million. I don't know who that 10 billion shillings. It's about $10 million. A vote in the institute, and I've been encouraging them because I'm a member. And borrow money and you go and do your business. So I'm one of the biggest borrowers in the Uganda. The others, they actually asked me to give them a talk on how I'm managing my life after the office. How am I managing it? Give us the strategies of how to remain relevant after office. For parents, they're not managing children. There are issues of drugs. There are issues of drink. There are issues of... We need to get ideas. You go to... Some offices have counselors. Have it at home. In the home where your own profession comes, because it benefits from it. Thank you very, very much.
Can I introduce yourself and then we move on? No, thank you very much, Julian. Good morning, everyone. I think listening to some of the speeches, both from the President, has truly elevated this profession. Not just for us as the professionals in the industry, but for the general public. I think there's now an appreciation of the impact the government is keen to work with the profession to try and achieve its economic development objectives. So the last couple of days have really elevated ICPAR and all the stakeholders for entrusting us to host this continental event. I think secondly, the journey ahead, as Amin mentioned, we still have a long way to go with. I think we don't have the benefit of time. As most of you have seen, Rwanda is we're one of those countries that are keen to achieve things really fast. And so we are counting on all of us to see what are the things we are not yet doing that we could do and triple and quadruple the number of accountants in the next few years. So please do keep in touch. We'll reach out to you. We'll hold you accountable. Some of the commitments you've made. Continue to support us. And introduce yourself and then move on.
Yeah, thank you, Fred Mugisha. I'm a member of ICPAR. I'm also learning from most of you. Thank you.
We have a few people that came in selected for a topic, but they're very important to us and they're very important also.
I'm called Raymond Kuman. I'm the Vice Chancellor for Strategic Planning and Administration for the University of Rwanda, which is one of the main partners for ACORD, but also ICPAR really makes sense. So
and I'm a partner at HMB Rwanda. You're all welcome.
The tallest man in the room, please. Oh, when I met Tolemis,
I am the Stakeholder Relation Associate at the Pan-African Federation of Accountants.
my colleagues are going to lead you out and we're going to go right outside there. We will have the president of IFAC along with our CEO and the president and the team cut the ribbon. We will pop champagne.
Good morning. Good morning again. Please come closer. So this is the home, not the one you are seated in. This is a new one. So I'd like to request my colleague Joan to come closer, and then I request the IFAC president and the president of ICPAR and PAFA to come close. The president's in the room. Please come close. Yes, Keto, please come close. And you, cameraman, are you at the front or the back? John. John. John, come. Cheers. Toast to the building. You can move with your glass, or you can give it back to Christine. So I'm going to request the CEO to kindly open the building, and then no, he doesn't need to cut. Yeah. So you can invite everybody inside, and then we start the tour.
it is, you remember when you go to IFAC, there is that famous door where they normally take you. So this is our wall. So everybody who comes here and they want to take a picture of ICPAR, and we be able to be very productive. So if you can follow me, please.
For those who mind about ESG, the fertilizer you can see is very organic. Sure, we were convinced without saying.
So this is our IT unit. Because when we talk about creating a future-ready profession and embracing information technology, we make sure that we provide offices for staff, and the IT people are part and critical of what we do, because we believe that for us to deliver our strategy, we must leverage on IT. So I'll take you to the next important room. Your this is our computer. It's our computer lab, because we've made a pledge that at your exams where you do different things. So we've set up this wonderful lab for our examiners, our moderators, to sit and be able to prepare those exams. So this is where this is where we normally set our exams, so that we can have we can have that full digitization across all our professional programs. So you follow me. Okay. Wonderful. C'est ma pièce préférée. Oui. Parce que j'aime la cuisine, alors. Oui. Yeah. CPA Suzanne. I know. Yeah, so these are different, our corporate services unit, the people who do procurement, human resource, they sit there. This is our finance office, but the same design is like the one we saw in the, it's the same, like the way you saw. So all of them, they have the same people. So we have our people, some of them, they are working. There we also have the brand and communications team, and then there, those are places where people can be able to do. So this is also another entrance. This is our professional. Let me wait for sound. Combos, you're blocking the way. They're in charge of our CPD program. We have quite a robust CPD program. I'll take that in now just to give you the details. They also, so it's a very important department. So that's where the team sits, and then this is the director's office for that particular unit. Yeah. So this is. We have boardrooms for people to work. Yeah. So this is one of the boardrooms, and we've equipped them with smart boardrooms. So this is a smart boardroom. It's a working space. So people in that particular department or any other person, if they want to work quietly, they can just come here, they scribble things, they do the magic, they do the kind of things they want to do, and that's it. So we have a similar one, and even down, it's actually the same way. Yeah, so you have chairs around, and then wireless and everything. So that's how we are set up. Then I'll take you to the next step. Yeah.
What we are going to see is best seen from this side, so I'd like to request that you stand from where the CEO's position is.
Yep. For me, I'll be in front. You can just be behind me. It's fine. Walid, if we have installed ici, Mr. Jean Boko, you can be here. So, yes. Yes. So, most of the time, we normally take things for granted. We think we are in the auto mode. We think things are going to happen by themselves, but things don't happen by themselves. They happen by the people. So if somebody wants to come and see how our leadership has evolved from the time when ICPAR was founded, you can be able clearly to see who are the chief executives, who are the vice presidents, who are the presidents, to even inspire some of our young accountants and say, yeah, I want to lead the institute at one particular point in time. I want to see my name. I want to see my placard there. So that's how we've been able to evolve. And you can see we still have a lot of empty spaces. So everybody will get the time. On the far right, those are the serving current executives. You can see the president in his true colors. Then we have the vice president. And then we have the CEO. Yeah, so kindly, now we can get into the boardroom. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Monsieur Jean Boucault. Yeah, you can sit here. It's okay. Since you're the chief guest. And then the president can sit on the other side. I'll be here. Walid. Yeah, can sit here. It's okay. And then Keto can also take her place. Madam Keto can just get a seat. You can sit on the next one. Keto will sit here, then you can just sit on the next one. Yes. Yeah. Patricia. John, Patricia. Christine, mwashizeho nuka presentation. But most of the time, our board has been virtually because so people are always traveling, they're always in all sorts of places. So you want to. So the most important thing is that people can be able to participate. So that's the most important thing for us. I was just telling the ICPAR president that for me, the most two important rooms that I like in this building is the kitchen and the boardroom. disseminated. I met during the Congress, I met a member from Mali, and he said, are you Amin? I said, yeah. Yeah, I saw your video, and it was very inspirational how you guys built ICPAR and all that. And it really made me work so hard so that we become associate members. So currently, as we speak, they are also IFAC associate members. So we should not underestimate the small things that we do. Yeah, it can be. So, Christine, please. Yeah. So, as the president had already told us, and he told us that ICPAR was established by law number 11/208 of 6th of May 2008. That journey was not a very simple journey. So you have professionals who are coming from different countries, and they cannot even agree in the room because everybody thinks they're very important. Yeah, it was not until 2010 when they established the first secretariat. At that time, I was sitting on the other side of town. I was in the Ministry of Finance, and of course, my role was to avail the resources. I'm the guy who used to carry the blank checks for ICPAR at the time. Yeah, but of course, we would get frustrations at the time because not all the money would be consumed. But it's part of the whole story. Even as somebody as we're trying to build ourselves, we have to get that footing. So even a baby cannot just be born today and all of a sudden they're just running around. They need to find their footing. So it was also like that. So in that particular law, ICPAR is a sole PO with the mandate to regulate and grow the accountancy profession. So we are putting on 3 hats. We are putting on a hat of a regulator. We are putting on a hat of a professional accountancy organization. We are also putting on a hat of a standard setter. Yeah, so we are full members of the International Federation of Accountants, a journey that did not come very simple because you had to comply with the SMOs, which is not simple. You had to put the fundamentals. And one of the difficult questions that IFAC used to ask when we were asking for IFAC full membership was like, are you sustainable? So how do you tell people that you're sustainable and you don't even have a home? You are homeless and you're claiming that you're sustainable. It was a very difficult question, but we tried to show them that we've laid the foundation. You can see the projections. We're going to be there. And we are glad that they believed in us and they were able to give us the full membership in 2020. So we are also founding members of the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, very active. We've served on the board twice. Currently, I'm the TA for the institute in Burundi. I've been helping them in the last 2 years so that, we can also help them to really come up and be where the rest are, which is a good thing. We are also an active member of the International Federation of Francophone Accountants, FIDEF. Then we are also an active member of the East African Community Institute of Accountants. This is where we've signed a mutual recognition agreement across the EAC region where accountants can be able to practice. Like our council member Juma, he's from Kenya, but you can see he has found Rwanda as a second home because we've been able to allow even our colleagues from the region to come and start practicing here. There's no need to close the borders. It won't help. Then, of course, we have local partners that have really helped us on this journey, the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank, the Rwanda Revenue Authority, the Capital Market Authority, the Office of the Auditor General, and other public and private institutions. Then we also have regional partners. So here I'll focus on the MRAs. We've signed the MRA. I've talked about the one for the EAC with those POs in those partner states. Then we have an MRA with CIMA. So if you're an ICPAR member, all you need to do is just one strategic case study exam and you become a CIMA member. That goes to show how they value our profession, our qualification, and how rigorous it is. Then ICPAR, that one for them, they even said, no. For us, we're not even going to trouble you with another exam. Just come and get automatic entry into our membership. We're so glad. The same with ICPAR. And we are also working hard with SCCA. And we hope, Jamil, you will be able to give us some good news very soon. Yeah, you can see among those beautiful names, there's a name called ACC that is missing and doesn't make us very happy. Then, of course, we have other partners that we work with. So with ACC, of course, we have a 10-year strategic MOU that we are working together with, but the culmination of it should be the MRA, so that we really sit very well. Then we also have tuition providers that we're working with. Of course, the role of tuition providers is going to change quite dramatically with the introduction of the ILMS, the Integrated Learning Management System, and the CB, the computer-based examinations, and of course also the role of the examination commission. These guys have been, ticking the boxes around the exams. Is this the right mark? Is this the right mark? Now with the IT, I don't know what your mandate is going to be, but together we are going to explore how much value you're going to bring, given the advance in technology that we'll have achieved. Of course, we also have other collaborations, and also we've also, ICPAR is among the, even as when we talk about 1,200 members that ICPAR has, the active ones are only around 40 to 45%. Those are the ones that pay their fees regularly. Those are the ones that are up to date in their CPDs and all those kind of things. But of course, we're always looking to improve on that. If we can move on to the next. Yeah, so we have qualifications. We believe at the Institute that a PAO, a professional accountant examination, it is as strong as its qualification framework. You can say all you want, you can take the pictures, you can organize nice events, but if your professional qualification framework is very weak, you're weak PAO. There is no second guessing. So our existing qualification currently now is the Certified Accounting Technician. We have the Certified Public Accountants, and then we have our beloved PFM certificate. This certificate is a certificate that we're able to work with SCCA to produce. I like SCCA because they produce something better than what they have. So you can see how generous they have been. So it's quite comforting that they are not there to eat us. Yeah, why I say it's good, it's because this certificate, it covers the whole PFM cycle. It has around 7 modules from planning and budgeting. And then when you finish the planning and budgeting, you become a planning and budgeting expert. Then you move to the next step, you become, there's a revenue management, you become a revenue management expert. You can work in Rwanda revenue, you can support people in tax, you can do different things. Then you move to procurement. The procurement process is also the 3rd module. Then you become a public procurement expert. Then it takes you to the accounting and reporting. Then you can be a certified bookkeeping expert, who can help the small subsidiary entities and, in the public sector. Then you have a M&E module, which makes you a monitoring and evaluation expert. Then we have the audit module, which makes you an audit associate. Then we also have the IFMIS, the Integrated Financial Management Information System, which makes you a certified information system analyst. So you can choose either to do the full certificate, because the full certificate is around 300 hours, or you can just decide to do a single module, which module is around like 40 hours. So, so it's up to you. And it has wider applications. So we are in broad discussions if it can be used as an induction for people who want to get into public service. Even I was even talking to the Director General for RRPP. I said, you have those people who are put on internal tender committees. Yes, they have subject expertise, but they know nothing about procurement. And you've decentralized your procurement. These people can issue billions and billions of contracts. So they need to know some of the basics in public procurement. And this module would be something that can be there. And the beauty of it is that it's fully online. You can do it anywhere, anytime, at a very small fee. Yeah, so the full certificate is around 2,800 USD, and the module is 500 USD. So It's something that is cheap. And then, most important, what we've done for this certificate, we've linked it to our professional qualifications. So when you do this particular certificate, if you're doing your CPA, when it comes now to the PFM module, in the CPA program, you don't have to do so. You have that recognition of that prior learning to give it the weight that it deserves, because it is very robust, it's very interesting. Patricia, I would urge you to have a look at it. Talk to my colleagues, just have a small peep. It won't kill, and probably you can draw some inspiration from it. Of course, we also have some upcoming qualifications like the ESG certificates. We're already in discussions with SEC on that. And of course, we want to do a lot of things, but we realize that we can't do everything. We can only do little things. So we want to leverage on the power of partnerships. Yeah, so we are thinking of working with SEC, so we're already in discussions to see that we take that off. Then on IPSAS certificate, we are working with PwC. They have something called IPSAS in the box. IPSAS in the go, so it's like an app. So working with them so that it can be able to help our counterparts in the public sector, because currently Rwanda is on the journey to full IPSAS accrual, and that kind of tool would really be very handy for them. Of course, AML is a huge thing. Patricia, I hope you remember the days when South Africa was grey listed. It's not a very pleasant. I know Uganda also went through the same nightmare. Yeah, so now the law requires that every reporting organization should have an MLRO officer to be able to help them with that. And as an institute, everybody is looking at us. Yeah, of course, we don't have all the solutions, but we think by partnering with us, at least we can make our contribution and be able to help as much as we can. Of course, there's our beloved IFRS. That's something that we're looking for. And then there's also people from the tax advisor. We have members who are there, but you know, the revenue service and the stakeholders in that area, they have expressed a strong interest in making sure that they have a dedicated, you know, qualification for people there, so that you know, they can have that in-depth knowledge that can set them apart. Christine, yeah. So we go to the favorite numbers. So so that's the time when I became CEO. Yeah. So I joined the institute in 2016. By that time, I was working on an IFAC project, which was funded by the DFID and was being executed with SCCA. And yeah, that's where, Jamil, if you remember very well, that's where we were sitting. So CPS students, we had 1,375, and then CAT students, that we were. So at the last World Congress, we had an event called Africa Day, which we hosted in conjunction with, I think was PAFA and the Accounting and Auditing Board of Ethiopia, and we presented. That was our status. So, Mr. President, we're here now to report our latest results. Where are we standing? So, President said that Rwanda made a choice, that we decided to become united. That's the one thing. No bickering, nothing. We just have to be united. As much as we don't like each other, but we have to be united. Then the next choice that we made, we decided to think big. Jamil, I remember when we started doing the strategic plan, guys said, you guys are too ambitious. You have nothing. Why even dreaming about 5 years when you cannot put a meal on the, you can't have a meal in a day and you're still thinking about 5 years. Are you even going to be alive after those 5 years? Yeah, but we said, no, let's just have a plan and then we see how we move. So, so we decided to think big as a country. And then that has also been translated even at the institute level. Then the next thing that the President has talked about as a country, the choice that we made, we decided to become accountable. And here in this room, ladies and gentlemen, we have decided to become accountable. So we are giving the status report where we are. So the current CPA numbers, students, we have around 5,493. And then the CAT, that's where we are. You can see a 4%, a 4 times jump. Then also the number of tuition providers also is increasing so that, you know, people can get the support wherever they are. We know professional exams are not easy. It's not a walk in the park. It's not an academic exercise. It's hard work. So you need to get all the support that you can. Then examination centers, those are the examination centers that are already accredited by the institute. Of course, we can talk about everything that we want, but we need the people to drive those results. So you can see that our team is useful. I wish that it could even become more useful than it is now, to be able to push the agenda forward. Because young people, they have that something that is special in them. You know, they are dreamers. They want to push boundaries. Yeah, so, and we want to give them a chance to be able to push those boundaries. So next. So on the membership, you can see by now we've already crossed the 1,200 threshold. So that's where we were at that time. Now on the CAT, that's where we are. On the PC holders, you can see there's a small reduction. That reduction can be explained. We had to go back to our SMO action plan, particularly SMO1, audit quality. So we got complaints from the stakeholders that, you know, your members are just rubber stamping. Said, okay, so that's what those people are doing. Okay, we have to kick in. So we had to bring in SMO6, investigations and discipline. So some of the members had to fall off. So we are saying audit is not for the weak-hearted. It is for the brave. It is for the people who are ethical. It's for people who want to do the right things. If you want to cut corners, that's not for you. Just be an accountant in business and that will be good for you. So then we had... Then on CPD events, we've talked about relevance. So the only way you can become relevant is through your CPD programs, engaging the wider stakeholders. So most of our events, actually, we have a substantial number of people who attend our events who are non-members, but they like what we do. So it's not, ICPAR is not just a members club, no. Beyond the membership that we serve. So I know the menu is never complete until you have something on financial. Mm-hmm. So that's how we're able to grow our internal generated revenues. And we've placed a lot of emphasis on IGR. Why? We don't want to be at the mercy of anyone. We want to have our destiny in our own hands. And you can only do that if you can be able to generate your own revenues. And I think it's not only at PO level, even countries now, some of them are at the mercy of the US. Tariffs are being, you know, hiked here and there, and it's causing a lot of chaos. So for us, we're able to imagine that future, and we started taking the baby steps that have taken us where we are now. So then we had grants. Yes, you have a membership of 500. What can 500 soldiers do for you? You'll be shot on the spot, and you'll not have any other ammunitions. So we decided to leverage on partnerships. So we had to get grants. So when you look at the ICPAR strategy, we had to align it to the national strategy, because we are part of the whole ecosystem. ICPAR does not exist in a vacuum. It exists in a broader context of a country. And when you do that rightly, there are some resources that comes through that. And you can use that resources to be able to build yourself, build the country, and get very far. So we are able to do that. But because we've been able to accelerate our IGR, and of course also the external environment has changed quite dramatically. Currently, in the current financial year, we don't have any grants. And we are doing fine. So, yeah, of course, we are thinking about the future. So whatever is left over, we always try to put it aside to help us in difficult times. Yeah, because you never know when the enemy hits. So you have. So, Christine. Yeah. So for those who are interested in the statement of financial position, that's how the balance sheet has grown. You can see also the building is reflected there in the non-current assets, where we are celebrating that milestone. Of course, you also need to get, some liabilities to be able to help you. But we believe because we have the right trajectory of growth, we should be able to deal with those very quickly, as we expand on operations. So if we can move to the key achievements. We know that in the speeches sometimes a lot of things get lost in the pleasantries. Yeah, but now, of course, for us, today we are taking that first one, acquisition of a permanent home. That is done and dusted, but we still have some empty spaces there. So we are also thinking, as part of diversifying our income in the future, we are thinking of having a real estate so that you can have some non-operating income coming in. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. Of course, we pride ourselves in the full IFAC membership because it opens up doors for you in terms of mutual recognition of your qualifications, in terms of mobility of your members. It also gives you the chance to join that exclusive club, which Patricia sits, the IFAC board, the committees, and all those nice things. So if you're not, if your PO is not a full member, there's no way. They can't even look at they just get your application, they put it in the trash, and they tell you we are sorry. When you get to the big boys, then we can talk. Yeah. So then, of course, our qualification. We got some complaints from the stakeholders, or concerns from the stakeholders, that you guys are producing chartered accountants, but they're only fit for the private sector. What happens to the people in the private sector? Huge issue. So we said, okay, fine. So we decided now to produce, pathways. So 80% is common across, but then the 20% is where people have now that specialism, so that they have to have where they sit. Yeah, and then, so that's when we came up with the PFM pathways, so that, because the problem the government was having at the time is that somebody would come in as a accounting technician or a CPA, but they're not fit to get into the workplace. They tell them, okay, can you produce a budget that is going to be taken to the Ministry of Finance for us to be able to get funding for next year? And the guy is just blank. He doesn't know where to begin. Start fidgeting, putting figures here and there, which don't even make sense. So we said, no. I think that's something that we can address within our qualification. So our people, when they're the job, they're able to start running. Then, of course, the other issue is the wider recognition within the marketplace. So that was the Workforce Development Agency. Now it has changed. It's now called the TVET Board. So they accredited our CAT so that we can have those accounting technicians. Now it has migrated to the Rwanda Education Board. It has been put into general education, but we've also finished the alignment, and now discussions for those who are able to. So yesterday we attended, we paid a courtesy visit to the PM, the PM's office, so we're able to brief him on the developments where we are. And one of the things that were discussed in that meeting was something to do, how do we create that critical mass of certified accounting technicians that should be able to help the SMEs to thrive, should be able to help the subsidiary entities at government, because we're talking about 5,000 subsidiary entities. The primary schools, the secondary schools, you're talking about the hospitals and health centers. They need these people. So that's why we decided to align. So we've decided to, we've worked with them to align their accounting option to the CAT qualification, and all they need to do is just sit for the exams, and then they're admitted into the membership, and then they get what the membership gets: continuous professional development, that recognition, that family, that home that will be their home forever until when the Almighty God decides to call them. So that's what we've decided to do. Of course, I've talked about the PFM certificate that covers the whole PFM cycle. Then there's the ICT blueprint. ICT is like a bottomless pit. You can throw all the money you have in and you'll keep consuming it, so you must have a deliberate strategy how you move into that. So we came up with an ICT blueprint of how we want to proceed so that we don't fall into that pitfall. So we decided to develop what they call an integrated management information system, so that when our students are registering, it is seamless. You come, you register. If you want to attend an event, you register, you do your payments and everything. Of course, it has helped us in so many ways to be efficient, to be seamless. You've seen that there's little paper, and some of the papers that you saw, it is just to remind us of what paper is. Yeah, but we don't take it really very serious.
Yeah, so in that, it really, and then of course we're even now going to launch in the quarter 4, we're going to be launching a mobile app, so that even on your mobile phone you can be able to pay. Traveling, so sometimes your subscriptions are due and you want to do that, so can use that mobile app to be able to pay. So we want to make it convenient, we want to make it seamless for the members. They should not experience any pain. Let the pain be not the secretariat, let the pain be on us, but our members, they should experience a 5-star service. So of course we've had IFAC representation. It's not about bragging. Humbly speaking, it was giving us that exposure. It has also given us that hope. Implementing different projects, sometimes you think you are alone. Yet there are people who have gone through those stories. Some of them even have scars. So when they take you through that journey, it gives you that hope. It gives you that resilience that carries you through until finally when you get your destination. Yeah, and we also realize that we are not the people we are not Luca Pacquiao, we didn't invent accounting. We found it there. So there are people who have walked through that journey. So by learning from them, it can lessen, that journey. It doesn't have to be unnecessarily long, and then you can be able to move faster and quickly and do other things. Of course, we've also come up with robust educational and regulatory policies. Like on the educational, I'll mention around 2. We have what we call an accreditation framework. When we are accrediting, we don't just accredit an institution. So when you're looking at an institution, we're looking at the governance framework within that institution. We're looking at the strategy. Does it even have a strategy? Or is it an organization that doesn't have a direction? And we don't want to work with organizations that do not have a direction. Then we're looking at the facilities. Do you have the facilities that will enable the kind of learning that is expected to happen? Then we also realize that it's not just about the name or the name tag or the logo. It's about the people that you have within that organization. So we also accredit the tutors that you have. They also get certified. And then it is renewed on an annual basis. Then during the renewal process, if we find that you've been slacking around, we downgrade you. If we find, so for us, the interpretation of accreditation, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not that you've arrived there, no. So, so you start from bronze, you move to silver, gold, and platinum, and things like that. Yeah, so then we have other policies like CPD policies. We have ML policies that help our member firms to be able to set up like ML, functions within their POs. So even when you go on our website, you can be able to see some of those policies, to be able to help, because people want the guidance. So, and there shouldn't be ambiguity. Yeah, I shouldn't be just waking up today, I'm coming up with this. No, there should be something. Then, of course, I couldn't have been proud to have such a wonderful team, because I was worried. I said, okay, I've been given big responsibilities. People are coming for my head anytime, but I need people who will help me to execute. So we've been I'm very grateful to ACCA. I still remember the first time, Jamil, when we were able to recruit our first directors. So when you're starting as a small PO, nobody believes you. Even the people in your family at home, your beloved wife doesn't believe in you. Thinks you're just a daydreamer. Yeah, so convincing now somebody to come and work with you, they leave a secure workplace that is known, that has a placard somewhere there, and they come somewhere, somebody will say, doesn't even have where to stay, and say, I'll have a building in the next, so it's like you're going to your girlfriend and you're telling her, we don't have anything, but I think we can be on the moon. So you just look at you and say, yeah, so we are also in that kind of situation. So what we did is that we tried to conduct professional interviews. We called people. We told them to, we said, okay, so like it's a simulation. So you want to become the CFO of ICPAR. So tell us, if you're the CFO, what would you be doing? So that we can see you in that role. Yeah, and then you'll be having somebody at the other side of the phone who will call you. Mr. John, where have you reached? Okay, yeah, we are waiting for you. We're in this room. Then when you arrive, they ask you, you want some juice, you want some tea, just to calm you down. so that, we put you in the best, and then you demonstrate that human side so that, people can see, yes, I may not have the money, I may not have all that accolades, but people can choose because of my human qualities. So we had to leverage on some of those things. So a capable secretary is very crucial. I'm also very grateful to my council because they have empowered us. When you look at the situation in most POs, most of the secretaries are not as empowered as we are. And probably it is also curtailing their growth. It's about trust. You've given me a job, give me the opportunity to execute that job. Because I'm not somebody that you pick on the street. You have certain criteria. You saw something unique in me. So please give me that opportunity to be able to deliver for you. And then if I can't deliver, I'm sure there are other mechanisms that are in place to be able to terminate that relationship that is not working. Then, of course, the other thing is that we also realize that we work in an ecosystem. So in an ecosystem, you have to be listen. I know as accountants and auditors, we think we know it all, but we don't know. What we know is just a drop in the sand. The people out there, they're the ones who know a lot of things. So you have to have that ear. You have to listen. Not listen with an intention of responding. Listen with your heart, with an intention of just taking in, and then you can be able to respond appropriately when it is the due time. So quickly, of course, every beautiful journey has its own challenges. Yeah, if we tell you that it has been a Cinderella kind of journey, we would be lying you. So we've had challenges. They have been having competing interests. Do I recruit staff? Do I start with the building? Do I pamper my members? What do I do? So, too many things to do, but too little resources. So you have to be very deliberate. That sequencing is very critical. Then unreasonable expectations. Some people will tell you, you can jump without a life jacket. So you have to be aware of those ones as well. So, sometimes you have to be realistic on what you can do. Yes, you can be ambitious, but also realistic at the same time. Of course, funding was always an issue. You want to do so much, but there's so much, the resources are not that. And sometimes, the environment you're working in is turbulent. So that also, created, so some of the projects, they had to delay. So it's a project that was supposed to take you 1 year, it will take you like 3 years. But what we did, we said, okay, even if the resources are not there, we're going to keep our eyes on the ball. So I told my board that you have to be patient with us. You're going to keep seeing this item for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but don't get tired. We shall do it. And then we're able to also genuinely show them and tell them, it's not because we lack the capacity to do it or we don't have the will, but you can also see the challenges that we're going through. But we have that intention and we'll make it, inshallah, as the president says. Then there's competition. As POs, competition, we live in a competitive world. Even if you decide to close all these doors and windows, you are not going to take away the competition because it's online and you can't block online. If you even block through the telecoms, we shall use VPN. So the competition, we are facing a lot of stiff competition with ACCA because they were already the pioneers in the market. We're also facing competition from our brothers and sisters across the borders from Kenya. Kenyans can be quite aggressive. Uganda, they felt sorry for us, so they didn't push us too hard. So we're mindful. Then we're asking ourselves, so we're just a small PO. So how are we going to dislodge all these big giants? How are we going to exist? So to us, so we decided to embrace the competition. So we approached ACCA. We said, we can have a very collaborative environment. The environment is too big for all of us to exist. So can we leverage off each other's strength to be able to do that? And I'm glad that they listened, and that has been able to work so well. Yeah, so some of the POs, what normally happens to them is that they fear the competition. So they will go into the regulations and they say nobody's allowed to operate in this market until, that kind of a thing, and it really doesn't help. In the modern way we're going, it will be very difficult to lock people out. So we made a deliberate choice that we don't want that protection from government. We want people to come to ICPAR because they believe ICPAR has something special to offer. And we believe that in the wider space, we can find our own space, we can find our own niche where people should choose to be with us. Then, of course, some of the key success factors, I've talked about a capable secretariat. Our staff are empowered. You saw me, most of the time I was on the front row. I never even got close to the MC trying to whisper some of the things. I said, no, we've recruited experts. So why should I be worried? Yeah, we've agreed some of the things. And if they even make mistakes, it's okay. We can pick ourselves from there. Because human beings, I always tell my team, I said, it's never over. I told them like 3 things throughout this conference. I said, it's never over until it's over. That was one of the things that we're using. Then the other thing I told them that the human being has a wonderful mind. The human being always retains the last bit of the conversation. They never retain the first bit of the conversation, in most cases. So the beauty of it is that if you make a mistake today, if you make amends tomorrow, you'll be forgiven automatically. So the most important thing, even if you fall down, pick yourself very fast and get going. Then the rest will fall in place. Yeah, so don't procrastinate, don't, So, of course, we couldn't have been grateful. You saw the kind of leadership that we have from the top, from His Excellency the President. You saw the Prime Minister yesterday. You saw the ministers, they responded, they are present. These are people who have a lot of national duties, but out of their time, they said, we need to be there. We need to mutually support each other because we are all pushing towards the same goal. Of course, my council, they have always listened to me with all my unreasonable demands. I thank you profoundly, and thank you for really allowing me to walk this journey. Yeah, I know I'm sounding as if I'm leaving tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm still around. So, yeah, of course, we've talked about a plan. People talk about plans, and I remember ACCA, when we were doing the ICPAR strategy 2017-2021, it was actually the beginning of it all. I remember we went into Serena. We were put in Serena for a whole month. So I stayed in Kigali, but I was there. So I tell them, guys, you're important people at home, but I need to go somewhere where I can think properly. I envision, just like the way we saw the cardinals when they were in Rome. They're trying to unveil the new pope. So we also sat there and were trying to envision what the new ICPAR would be, how everything will unfold. And we thank you profoundly for really giving us that time, believing that we can craft something that we all can be proud of today. So, and we've taken that as a norm. So every 5 years, been followed by a successor strategy that started in 2022. That will be finalizing next year. So by next year, we're also coming up with another strategy that should be able to take us, usher us into a new era. So even what that has helped us is that in most POs, because they don't have those plans, or they have them but they don't believe in them. If you have a plan and you don't believe in it, just tear it down. It doesn't help you. So what it has helped us, it has created that stability. So even when we get a new leadership that has come in, they walk that talk because there's already a roadmap. So all you need to do is that I'm CPA John Bugunya, I'm the Vice President of ICPAR. I just come and put my signature that I've been present, I've contributed. Yeah, so it's not like we have to start over all over again. So we need to give value to what our predecessors have given us, and we build on that because we're not the. Then, of course, we've talked about stakeholders. I won't spend a lot of time on that. It goes without saying. So we've been coming, you'll see ICPAR has, we are so humble. In the ESC, we have a practice that others in the region, they are allowed or they are encouraged. It's a culture. You have to go to each other's events. If you want to do a study tour, if you do, you have to come there. So ICPAR is the only event that has, ICPAR is the only institution that has consistently gone throughout that from the top leadership. So people thought maybe we just want to hang out or we love their countries better. No. We're on a secret mission. We're secret agents taking notes. Yeah, you know, trying to pull the trigger, you know, doing that practice and say, okay, how can we make that better? How can we learn from each other? And you'll be surprised. Some of these institutes, actually, some of the basic drills, these are the people who held us when we were toddlers. But I'm sure today they are all proud in what we've been able to achieve. So for us, it was deliberate. It's not just about we like your countries, but we also want to learn as much as possible. It's not just learning the good things, but also the bad things that say, okay, this one I think for me is a non-starter. I shouldn't be entertaining this in my organization. So that learning for us has been very instrumental. And we run across, not just from within peers in the profession, but even other corporate entities, even others, and all that. Of course, as we look forward, we have the ICPAR law. You saw it, it's very old. The environment has changed. We are now in a different setting, so we are working on the revision, and hopefully by next year we should be having another updated law that is more. Of course, we are still mulling of whether we should have a separate body for all the three key functions that ICPAR has, 3 mandates, or we should continue to become one umbrella, but those are discussions that we're having internally, and whatever it's going to be, we will move with that, and then we can be able to handle the baton to the others. Of course, ICT, I've talked about the LMS and the CBE. We are digitizing, no more paperwork. We want to have inclusivity. We want to increase access. We want to be seamless. When you talk to the young people, one thing they want to tell you is that we are eager to get into the marketplace. So you need to give them that flexibility, and IT is what gives you that. So for us, we look at IT as a big highway, where if you want to go at 200 kilometers per hour, you can. If you want to go at 20 kilometers per hour, there's a lane for you. So that's how we're looking at the whole of this thing. Yeah, yes, so we want to make it as easy as possible. Christine, we can move up. Of course, audit quality assurance. I know the IFAC president talked about trust. But I can tell you as professional accountants, we're losing our trust. The market is losing trust in us very quickly if we don't take remedial steps. And one of the ways that can help us not to lose that trust is those regular AQAs. Not just sampling. Make it mandatory for everyone, because those ones that you're sampling, that's where the risks are. Every assumption that you make is a risk, which could backfire at some point in the future. So for us now, as we speak, from that journey, we've already undergone through 2 AQA reviews. And I remember the last time in 2022, I think we've sanctioned 50% of our member firms, telling them, guys, it's not a free license. Audit is not for everyone. It's for people who want to do a thorough job. And you guys, people are looking at you. If you do funny things, everybody will be looked at as a joke. And we can't allow that to happen. We're giving you the tools. We're going to accompany you. We're going to support you. But please, please, please. So sometimes you have to crack the whip. So it's a carrot and stick approach that we are doing. And I think this year we are going to do our 3rd round of AQA reviews. And this time around, it will be more comprehensive, not just audit quality, but also going to look at AML as well. Because as an international finance center, you need to give people that assurance that the people who are on the ground, they are solid and they can do a thorough job. Then, of course, we'll continue to engage. We know we need all the support, we need all the prayers. So, Patricia, when we come knocking to SICA, please don't close the doors. We are looking forward to that MRA with SICA. and get us those visas, please. Talk to Ramaphosa. Then, of course, we want to consolidate the gains. So we've achieved so much in such a reasonable time, but we can only build on what we have. We don't want to be those people, so you've built the foundation, you want to kick off, and then you start to build another foundation. No, we don't want to do that. We want to keep on building on what we have. So I think that's the end of our presentation and the journey. We hope it has inspired you, and Mr. IFAC, Mr. President of the IFAC, please, we hope it will also inspire other upcoming IFAC members, to even do better and outdo us. We are not happy of holding the record. We want other people to take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CEO. President, you have something to say?
No, I take after you. What do you want us to do?
Yes, I was going to say the next agenda, and this is your time, actually. So your remarks, Mr. President.
I'm ready.
Yes, as we're wrapping up.
As we wrap up,
No, I'm the last.
you're the final man in this room.
He's warning me, she's warning me. Yeah, I know some of you think I'm going to bring another song. During my young days, I was the DJ of the school. No dance would take place unless I've given it to our member, Susan. Is it working? Yes. Thanks, Amin, really for compiling up that. And it tells our people, ourselves, where we are, why we are there, and where we want to go. And please get working on those visas I have had. But our friends, strategic collaborators, sincerely, all this goes to you, that we are a nascent PO, but an associate to be proud of. All the, by the way, when I was the Auditor General, I earned a premium train of SCA. I think you put the picture there. So, and I trained, I think, the biggest number of accountants in this country and beyond. There's no office in Rwanda was calling the name an accountant in the highest level. One of the levels, I know someone can stand up and testify, but this is not the day. So, I don't know, it is Friday and yeah. But he talked about where is our strength as PO, young as we are. It is in the quality. The Japanese author in the book called Operations Research said quality cannot be inspected in a product, called that CPA. Quality cannot be inspected in a product, but it is manufactured in a product. That's why Toyota, that car that I drive, is the biggest car manufacturer in the world. Quality cannot be inspected in the product, but can only be manufactured in the product. So, we shall count on you people to achieve that, the quality of this accountant that we send out there. It has been continuous. From that 1904, I was not able to elaborate because were seated at the doorway. You see, I keep emphasizing for more than 18 years that I've been around in this system that the letter P, certified public accountant. Who certified you? Rod Denning, in his judgment, you can cross-check. You know that Rod Denning was supposed to be an SCC, I think, or a CA. But that was not the time, because he was a mathematician. That was a trigger to becoming a CA or whatever of that time. So he said, regarding the trust, that the case was about stock. That's why IFRS number, what is the IFRS on stock? Sorry? Sorry? Are you in a democracy, or you are saying it as it is in the standard? It is IFRS number? Number 2. IS2. Very good. Do you know why it is IS2? 1904. So the shareholders trust, public trust. The shareholders missed their dividend because they were given a check, which in Rwanda we call it sans provision. That is a good language, eh? Yeah, chèque sans provision. Comme ça. So that happened because the plus work in progress minus stock, closing stock, underline that, minus closing stock of work in progress is equal to cost of sales. Cost of sales minus the revenue is equal to what? Yeah, but in a means profession, he would call it M. Jamin, where am I? That's what the shareholder, marginal revenue, cost of sales, sales minus marginal revenue, you get a contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost, you get what? Now the profit. It is that profit that you reconcile with the bank statement, and then you will assure the shareholder that you can go to the bank, you will get what? Dividend tangibilized into cash. Mr. Ngari, that's what you do. So the public trust. But I'm older than a good number of people here. So they will wonder what. So, but the Rod Denning said, the trusted office, the case got so heated, as if I was there in the UK of that time. So, but the Rod Denning, in his magnanimity, he said, the accounting officers, and he pronounced trust, the word trust, that the auditor, the cabinet audit, the auditor shall not be guilty of trusted officers of the company. You can read that case law, it is there. In these words verbatim. The accounting officers of the company, or the auditor shall not be guilty of trusted officers of the company. However, but when he looked around to gather the opinion, he found they were not convinced. Then he added, however, the auditor shall not certify what he has no reason to believe is true. True means veracity. Veracity means trust what? Truthfulness. So this, when you go doing that quality, tell them I'm around, I can pronounce them in the words of Rod Denning. So, that the auditor shall not certify what he has no reason to believe is true. Because the auditor of that time, I hope he was not an SCCA, because the SCCA had just sat one exam. He had been given a closing stock certificate. And he said, after all, yeah, they signed it. Trust. So, the auditor shall not certify, true and fair view, what he has no reason to believe is true. Why do you believe? But there is IS number 2. Therefore, that IS number 2 came out of that. Then to the auditors, there is the auditors what? Can you fill in the gaps? The auditors' skepticism. Is it a standard, ISA? International Standards on Auditing? Is it a standard?
No.
But it is what?
It may be a concept. A principle?
Uh-huh. Concept, principle, and so many other words. But it is bigger than standard because substance over form. So these ICPAR members, please, that's what we are trying to achieve. Guys, help us. Then we are accelerating the computer-based blah, 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 blah. But find out the subs, the statement of British Statement of Standard Accounting Practice number 20 or 21. Up to, I think, 1973, UK was very reluctant to accede to international accounting standards. But in that accounting in an automated environment, those 4 stages, I can't go through that. Today is not the time. However, it is there that the CA, the standard setters around CA, were cautioning the public about believing the automated. Those 4 stages: systems appraisal, pilot running, parallel running, going live. I cannot elaborate that. So as we automate, then we had the other day artificial intelligence. Later on, a zero-sum game. That's why the accountant of today, member of the ICPAR, please be mindful that artificial intelligence, not underwritten accountant, is enjoined hereby to fill in that gap. You know why I'm saying that? It's because the accountant is a biblical cornerstone that was ignored by. When the storm came, they had to remember that the cornerstone was, is it there? So the accountant is the cornerstone. When the problems have happened, that's when the public will say, but Amin, there is Amin here, CEO of ICPAR. Look for Amin. You know, these members of. So we are trying, not only with the building, but now to take this building in the hearts and the minds, the body and the soul of our members, so that we shall not be proud of the building, but we shall be proud of ourselves. But each member that goes out there can carry the face of the profession, and sincerely, when you come here, yourselves, wherever you may be, at that famous IFAC office, the ACC, our collaborators, our PAFA president, I know you believe us. Yes. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't have time, but time, and it was said, time and tide waits for no man. But during this SDG time, we say time and tide waits for no woman. I pen off here, and I thank you for coming here in March.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to request the outgoing president of PAFA for very short remarks, and then we can have the IFAC president.
ICPAR CEO, my great vice president, incoming president of PAFA, the ICPAR vice president here, being Rwandese, very honored. I'm going to walk out with my head held high. I have to make my neck a bit longer. But I said most of what I wanted to tell you down, so I will not talk about it. But as these two have been talking, something has tickled me, and I think I needed to talk about the issue of partnerships. We all are very proud of being IFAC members, and we all aim for it. Now, in my successor's agenda, the issue is unite, transform, and thrive. We can't work as an Africa which is not united. We must unite, and we have done a lot in our last board. Unification was one of the biggest things. Now I think they're going to get just less of it, but it is key. The unification of Africa, then we transform and look at all the things that we do, and then it is only then that we will thrive. Amin, Obadia, I'm going to attend all annual conferences of East Africa. Sincerely, I had never looked at it as so important. And you will come to the ICPAR annual conference, and it is just us Ugandans on top there. You know, we are there, the big people. But go to ICPAR and learn what they're doing. Go to ICPAR and see what they're doing. We just don't think about it. Because I admire the relationship you have with ICCA. Jamil knows me very well and knows what is behind in Uganda. And I think you touched it. Either we are scared of competition. There is a way we have not worked very well, and not only in the whole of East Africa. I think it's only here that they've worked so well with the CCA. There is a lot to learn. And as you said, there are things we will touch and see. They are doing this. I won't go there. I'll go my way. But there are things you'll see and you're like, this one, let me go and see how I do it. There are so many things that you are doing that I think your colleagues need to see. I have been very close to Chairman Kakai at the board. He's also doing tremendous committee. The committee that chooses the president of Kenya, that is in the process of choosing the president of Kenya, ICPAR must be a member. So much to learn. There's so much to learn across the region itself, and then we will go down to South Africa as well. So thank you I'm very honored to be here. The president, IFAC, I'm extremely in this occasion, and I'm very, very grateful of all these dignitaries. Thank you very much.
All dignitaries, I will, and President and CEO, presidents, former president, new income president. Well, I also feel very honored to have been invited and to have been asked to cut the opening with the president and to unveil what is now at the entrance of this house. I'm honored. I thank you very much for all what you did during those four or 5 days, but more than that, for all what you and your colleagues have done since the beginning. And I'm not going to repeat all the steps you have been going through, and all the steps you are still anticipating. This is a lesson for me. This is a lesson for each of us. You had very strong words when you talk about what you have experienced, when you talk. And once I've said that, it also makes so much sense to be in a family. You are, and this family is to keep it as a family. And in a family, of course, you have problems. Of course, you have items you are not agree. This is what IFAC has the ambition to be. Being a family of people who, and you said very well, Mr. President, who are trusted because they have this important CPA, CPP, as you mentioned, This is something which is among us. All of us have to share that every day, every morning, every minute. And we know that it is fragile. We have gone the world through examples where trust, we believed that we gave trust. And I'm a former member, I'm a former partner. I started there with Arthur Anderson, affect everyone in our family. So let me hope that given what we have heard today, we are stronger in this family and we are much.
Thank you, Mr. President, and all the presidents in the room. And now we come to a close, but I'm going to ask, but for the rest, I would like to thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and see you later in the evening. Go do your glamour. We'll see you glamorous in the evening. Thank you, sir. But as an institute, of course, and as the hosts, we represented. But the fact that we have you in the room, it would be good to have a closing ACOA press conference, since we have all the presidents in the room. And so this is it. And we'd like to say we have about 8 press houses in the room that have also been covering ACOA. And so this is an opportunity for us to share how ACOA took place, what we've learned, what the future holds in terms of the profession. And so I'd like to request the press, the media. I think you already know the people that are in the room. We do have the president of ICPAR, who you know, Mr. Obadia Biraro. We have the CEO of the institute, Mr. Min Miramago. We have the VP of the institute, Mr. John Bugunya. We do have the new president of PAFA, Mr. Warid. And we do have Keto Kayemba as well, who is also the outgoing president of PAFA. And we do have the president of IFAC to interact and engage with them. But I would like to start with the CEO to give his remarks about ACOA as the host. And then we'll have the others. You're welcome to ask questions on how ACOA was planned and how it happened and how it went. Of course, we have a closing gala dinner tonight. That's the highlight of the event as well. But because we are not going to meet from the press. And the press, when you ask a question, please point to the person you want the person to answer the question, and then we can move on. Thank you. We do have the president of PAFA, French, and I'm sure he'll be happy to engage with those of you who speak French. Thank you.
Members of the Fourth Estate, it's always a pleasure to interact with you. She's talked about ACOA 2025. Sincerely, we've been overwhelmed with a lot of joy. This journey, we're not really very sure how it will turn out to be. Of course, we came up with a plan, how we want things to be, but you know, we were working, pieces were falling apart. You book somebody as a speaker, then all of a sudden tells you, know, I've had some unexpected event, I want to be available. Then you have to get the replacements. You know those things that really concern how you organize an event and the details through which you go through. We were not even sure that Africa will respond overwhelmingly like they have done. So we are truly honored. We are really excited that we're able to pull this dinner. It will be the climax. We have a wonderful dinner. You know, in Africa, you can never finish a ceremony and you don't crown it with a dinner. And, you know, we'll be seeing the beautiful colors of Africa, the cheerful participants. I hope you'll be able to interact with some of the participants. Because even now as we talk, for us we are this. So we've been having a lot of parallel events going on. So there's been something for everyone, depending on your interests, depending on what you're interested in. So some of the people as we speak right now, they have gone for tours, they're trying to discover Rwanda and find out different. The incoming president of PAFA, I know he has already made that commitment that he would like to come back and really experience when he's not having bogging him down, so that he can be able to enjoy as a human being. Yeah, so we are looking forward to your questions. Yeah, thank you so much.
My name is Gad Chubahiro. I work for Flash TV and Radio. I will ask two questions, one Kinyarwanda and one in English. But I will start with Kinyarwanda because the viewers, the biggest percentage of our viewers they speak Kinyarwanda, so I have to do that. Ntabwo nzi niba ari CEO cyangwa Perezida uri musubizo ubwo wumve bimuriya ni uri buze kumva igisubizo. Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Uyu munsi wa none nyuma ya ACOA intego zanyu mwashyize imbere mutegura inama cyangwa se mushyiraho n'iriya film murabona zaragezweho cyangwa se mufite icyizere cy'uko nyuma iyi nama guhera ejo cyangwa se no mu cyumweru gitaha izatangira gushyirwa mu bikorwa muri make turashaka kureba expectations nazo zaragezweho ku ruhande rwanyu. Icyo ni kimwe. Icya kabiri turifuza kumenya accountants bo mu Rwanda bagezehe bashyira mu bikorwa bagezehe bakoresha ikoranabuhanga mu kazi kabo bakora. Uyu munsi wa none turi muri digital world aho dutekereza yuko ibintu byinshi bikorwa mu buryo bw'ikoranabuhanga. Ese mu Rwanda ikoranabuhanga rikorana gute bakorana gute ndavuga accountants bakorana gute n'iri koranabuhanga kugira ngo akazi kabo cyangwa se ibyo bakora bibashe gutanga umusaruro muri rusange. Hanyuma niba ari n'ibibazo birimo bitaratungana neza bikeneye ko wenda byaba addressed nabyo mushaka kubitubwira kuri ku mikoreshereze y'ikoranabuhanga mu mwuga w'aba accountants. And then my last question I wanted to ask Pafa, how do you collaborate with these institutions in different countries to have a common idea about the profession and to equip every country with the same ideas, the same skills of the profession? I don't know. I don't speak French. If he's going to speak in French, maybe. I don't know, but they will interpret. My friends there will speak in French. Yeah, thank you. Those are my questions.
Murakoze cyane ku bijyanye n'uko nimba intego twihaye nimba twarazigezeho navuga yuko twazigezeho kuko abantu twari twiteze kubona barabonetse bose. Icyo twashakaga icyo twifuzaga yuko abantu basobanukirwa icyo umwuga w'ibaruramari n'igenzuramari uwo mwuga icyo ushobora kugeza ku gihugu n'umusaruro ushobora gutanga mu iterambere ry'igihugu. Byaragaragaye no mu biganiro wagiye ubona tuganira n'inzego nyinshi, wagiye ubona hafi buri munsi habonekaga umuminisitiri tukaganira tukungurana ibitekerezo ku bintu binyuranye nk'ibintu bijyanye na kubungabunga ibidukikije. Twagiye tuganira ku bintu by'ubuhahirane hagati uzi ko mu Rwanda niho basinyiye CFTA, so ni ukuvuga ngo twari turimo kureba ese nimba kuva igihe twasinyiye twari tugeze hehe, ibyakorwa ni ibiki. So ku buryo namwe nibaza yuko ubu ngubu ku bintu bijyanye n'ibaruramari hari ibintu byinshi cyane mwungutse mutari musanzwe muzi. Nibaza yuko akenshi mwakunda kuvuga ati uriya ni Messier Biraro niwe ujya uvuga ibintu by'ikoranabuhanga, ko wabonye yuko ni umwuga mu by'ukuri ku isi, ni umwuga wubashywe, ni umwuga ushobora kugira uruhare rufatika mu iterambere ry'igihugu icyo ari cyo cyose. So ibyo numva aricyo nabivugaho, kandi nibaza yuko uko mbibona ntabwo bizadusiga uko byadusize. Iyi evema ntabwo bizadusiga uko byadusanze, kuko hari amasomo menshi twakuyemo, hari n'ibyo twiyemeje gukora nk'umwuga. Nk'ikintu twiyemeje yuko muri segonderi gahunda za segonderi zamaze guhuzwa na CET yacu ku buryo kuri uriya rwego ababaruramari bari bo mu rwego rwo hasi ko tuzongera umubare wabo mu gihe kitarambiranye, ku buryo abantu bikorera ku giti cyabo bashobora kubona abantu babafasha. Murabizi yuko business nyinshi muri iki gihugu zijya zigira ibibazo by'imisoro kubera ko badafite abantu babafasha bahagije kandi b'abanyamwuga. Tubaza ko abo bantu tuzagenda tubabona. Ibindi twiyemeje ubu ngubu ugiye gutangira kubona abaruramari b'umwuga batangira kujya mu nama z'ubutegetsi z'ahantu hatandukanye, kuko nta bantu bafite ubumenyi kandi ubumenyi butandukanye, ntabwo ari ukubara imibare gusa. Mubonye ko abaruramari harimo abasiyo, hari abantu bashobora gukora ibintu bitandukanye. Ikindi kintu wabajije ku kintu kijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga. Ikoranabuhanga ni ikintu dushyize imbere ku buryo n'abanyeshuri bacu ubu ngubu twavuze yuko mu mpera z'uyu mwaka tuzatangira amasomo yacu yose azatangira gutangwa mu buryo bujyanye n'ikoranabuhanga. Ni ukuvuga ngo nta bya bindi by'urupapuro n'ikaramu, ibyo byararangiye, n'ibizamini bazajya babikorera kuri za mudasobwa. Ubwo ni ukubategura kugira ngo nibajya mu kazi, kuko n'ubundi iyo ugiye mu kazi baguha mudasobwa niyo ukoreraho. Ngo niyo wakagombye no kwigiraho kugira ngo nujya mu kazi biba ari bimwe, mbese no gukomerezaho. Iyo bageze no mu kazi rero hari ibintu bita za logiciel, mujya mubyumva. Ziriya zose riya ni ikoranabuhanga, ku buryo nk'akazi iyo umuntu bamubwira nko gutegura nka raporo, hari igihe umuntu yamaraga nk'ukwezi cyangwa ibyumweru bingahe arimo gutegura raporo, ariko ubu ngubu barimo gukorana za mudasobwa, ibyo ni ibintu mu by'ukuri umuntu bimufata amasaha makeya cyangwa se iminota akaba yayibonye. Iryo koranabuhanga rigenda rizamuka ku buryo ubu ngubu no mu mwuga wacu hari abantu bamwe bazagenda batakaza akazi kubera yuko nk'ibintu bagendaga bakora, hari ibintu cyane cyane iriya mirimo ikomeje kwisubiramo. Iyo ngiyo ikintu twakwita nk'imashini cyangwa ikoranabuhanga ryabikora kandi ikabikora neza kandi ikabikora mu gihe cyihuse. Niho tugeze, ni urugendo, ntabwo ari ikintu cy'umunsi umwe, ni urugendo tuzakomeza kugenda, dukomeze duhura abantu bacu, dukomeze tubafashe muri urwo rugendo, ku buryo nk'ubu ngubu muri CPA turimo kuvugurura ubu izatangira mu mpera z'uyu mwaka. Hari isomo ririmo rita digital finance, ni isomo ririmo kugira ngo rifashe abanyamuryango bacu cyangwa se abanyeshuri bacu kugira ngo bazabe ari abantu b'intarumikwa, bazabe abantu nyine bashobora kugira akamaro mu gihe kiri imbere, bashobora gutanga umusaruro.
Ubwo twakongeraho umusaruro ufatika, because accounting is a science of the exact, to tangibilize the intangibles. Okay? Umusaruro ufatika.
Thank you. I got bits and pieces of it. Yeah. Now to your question, how does PAFA relate with its members? We have 56 members in 45 African countries. And those members are what make us. PAFA cannot exist without the different members in the different countries. We help them, we capacitate them, we help them to join IFAC, we help them to make their vision more clearer and to serve their members better, to ensure that there is a value proposition from all of them to their members. We, at PAFA, we have a situation where now what we have created is at the Secretariat, there is an officer aligned to each member. So of the 56 members, you'll find that each of them is aligned to somebody. Since we are few in staff, it is to some few people. And they talk and relate on a weekly basis. Then we have a situation where we have a board. That is the board I chair, which is going to start chairing. The president is the head of the board, and the vice president supports the president on that board. That board provides the leadership of IFAC, of PAFA. That is
you do.
Because I'm too close to you, of PAFA. Then we have the secretariat. So we have the president, the vice president, and the secretariat. The secretariat is based in South Africa, and it does all our work. Its members, the members of the secretariat, I think we have about 20 employees now. They are spread across Africa. There is one in Benin. There is, I think, about 3 in Kenya. There is one in Malawi. There are some in South Africa. There are some in Zimbabwe. That's the way we are structured. Now, at the board, we have, where we have more representation of accountants, we make sure that that representation is reflected in the board. The board is made of about 17 members. The 5 largest members must be members of that board. They must be members of the board so that they can bring in what they have in relation to the practice in their various countries. So from the 17 of us, we are able to harvest whatever we can in relation to what is happening in the African continent. We meet monthly, we meet quarterly as a board, but the VP is also the chair of one of the biggest committee, actually the committee that runs PAFA is chaired by the vice president. And they meet ever so often, maybe monthly. It's a big job. They meet and they iron out any issues that the secretariat is bringing out to them. So we are in very, very close touch with all our members. We have a strategic plan. The members made it with us. They bring out what they want to be achieved in the 2 years. So now we have the 2025, 2027, and within there are the aspirations of all the members, and we go ahead and implement that during those 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Denise Mbabazi Mhambara. I work for African Updates. I want to ask, it's like 2 questions. I want to know, because when people say value for Africa, it can mean different things like economic, social, or environment. So clearly, could you please explain the role of accountant in achieving the theme of this year's conference? And again, in relation with the Africa we want, because people have been mentioning, but I want to hear from it more clearly. And again, how this new technology can help to create the value for Africa, and what is ICPAR doing to help people, again, to learn more about technology? Thank you. Anyone can answer.
I'll take just one. Take the first one. Just one. And then because I will. Creating value for Africa. Our objective, our goal in PAFA is sustainable value creation for the benefit of the citizens of Africa. During the conference, one of the major things that we did was driving sustainability, which is something that is now affecting all of us, driving sustainability. So bringing it to the forefront of the accounting fraternity in Africa and showing them, come on board. There's something happening. When you do this, your companies will be able to report on sustainability, and therefore your country will be more aware of what's happening. It can relate with all the world leaders. It can relate in terms of the financials that come out of your country. Accountants, be prepared, be the strategic thinkers around sustainability, be the driving force around sustainability. I've only done sustainability.
And going back on sustainability, yes, it is not a country issue or a small number of country issues. It is global. So what we aim at as organizations which convene the whole profession, which try to have the same approach or understandable approach from each and everyone is to make sure that we are part of this very important item, topic for the future of the earth, for the future of the society, and for the future of the citizens. So this is why we are taking so much time on talking with our colleagues about what does sustainability means, why it is closely connected to financial data, and in the future, we are starting to see that some corporations are already talking about sustainability information together with financial information. So it's a way also to approach how the economy is organized more and more, and it is also a way to approach how the citizens are expecting from the economy to take this into account.
Yeah, you coordinators of information around your subject matter ought to know that accounting, contrary to what was believed those years, that accounting remains somewhere in the back room. No, accounting is a vehicle that facilitates dissemination of financial information. And that's why we find we have accounting standards, universal. And you media houses ought to believe that and to disseminate it. Dissemination of information, financial information. Now, one of the 9 good characteristics of communication is effectiveness. That accounting financial information that is disseminated by the accountant must cause action. A good communication is that communication that triggers action. So those actions in Africa must be seen. And where there is no effective communication, where the communication of financial information does not trigger action, then you media people should be able to ask the relevant questions. 16 years ago, I was a chairperson of COMESA representing Rwanda, COMESA audit committee. But you media houses, I did not see any publication regarding that. The arbitrations that go on, I don't see an accountant. And yet, if the PAFA people should really enhance that, if those arbitrations, and I happen to know them, I was at the meeting in 2017 at Murungushi, okay? Those arbitration needs, if the accountant was given a chance, I can assure you some of those things would be easy. And yet PAFA sits not so far, it is a distance you can drive from PAFA office to the headquarters of COMESA. So you help us, help those COMESAs and so on. COMESA, of course, is a product of Lagos Plan of Action 1980. Anyway, some of these things, guys, try to come up.
Thank you very much. I'll talk about automation and what we are trying to do around automation. And I think automation, if you look at the 17 UN SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, I think pillar number 9 talks about innovation. And also the last pillar, the 17th pillar, talks about partnerships. And I think if you listen carefully to the discussions in this room, there's been a lot of discussion around partnerships and how we can leverage off those partnerships. But back to the question around innovation. I think as an institute, what we've tried to do is we look at our strategy and really make automation a central pillar of our strategy. And as you've heard, a couple of things have happened. One is that we've actively introduced within our continuous professional development programs, CPDs, we've introduced very important aspects around automation. So we have on a monthly basis CPDs where we invite our members to come and listen to emerging issues. And within those, we've introduced speakers that talk about automation. specifically looking at what are the solutions out there that can enhance the role of an accountant. But more importantly as well, understand the opportunities, but as well as the risks within these platforms, and how do we mitigate these risks. So that's one of the aspects that we've tried to deal with. The other one, and I think the CEO spoke about it, is to look at the new accountants that are coming through the value chain and asking ourselves, are these accountants fit for purpose or fit for market? So one of the key tasks or projects that we have, which will be rolled out later on this year in the third quarter, is really relaunching our CPA program. So we will be launching a CPA program that has very specific courses around automation and digital finance, so that the accountants that will be qualifying as CPAs will have understood the changing landscape and how they can contribute towards the emerging trends around automation, AI, and digital finance. So that will be part of our new CPA program that will be launched later on this year. But thirdly, and I think importantly as well to note, is that you've had, some of you were in the conference over the last 3 to 4 days, and you had a lot of inputs and discussions from various speakers. And for those that also went through the exhibition stand, you saw that there are exhibitors who came through who are specifically focused around automation and IT. You know, you saw people like Caseware and others. The purpose of inviting such people for these conferences is to also create synergies, to create partnerships, to ensure that we can, learn from each other and try to quicken the learning curve that our accountants are going to go through to try and adopt these new technologies. So there's a lot that we are working on as an institute, and the intention is to make sure that our accountants are not left behind. They remain relevant in the marketplace. Thank you very much.
And of course, which is truly so important for all of us, is the fact that we are a profession which had the ambition and which has to give trust. And this is, and you find it in our work on sustainability, as you find it in our work on financial statements, and as you find it in our projections in a new world where artificial intelligence is coming. So what unites us all over the world, whether we are in continental Africa or in other parts of the world, is the fact that we as accountants, we have in mind, we should have always in mind, integrity and professional quality. And this needs, of course, to be to work every morning, every day with that in mind, so that at the end we are working for the public interest and giving trust to what we are working upon. Thank you.
I'll just do another one, the issue of women. Everybody who came for a call, went back realizing the importance, the role women play in society, women play in accounting, the misconceptions, the stereotypes, the building blocks that we must have, the partnerships that we must have, and the space that we must create for the woman in accounting.
Yeah, the more these guys keep exposing the subject matter, the more you feel the need to add on. Value for Africa, creation value for Africa. Value in marginal accounting means that marginal utility of satisfaction, marginal utility that the consumer of goods and services derives from consumption of that additional service or good that is produced. And I would not want to complicate it by the curve, the marginal analysis curve of marginal utility curve on X and Y axis. The curve cannot touch either Y or X axis. And that's why when the accountant comes in, because the accountant, by the very nature of this profession, I repeat, the accountant's role is to tangibilize the intangibles. inherent in that created value, given the definition I have talked about value. One thing I also want to add, he reminded me of the relevance, the relationship between the accountant and the SDGs. You know, I'm a former Auditor General of Rwanda, and I used to report to Parliament regarding the SDGs, especially via performance audit report. He reminded me, you know, there are 17. He talked of number 17, partnerships between you people and the accounting profession. But there is SDG number 1. Africa without poverty. I'm paraphrasing. Africa without poverty. Try to go and read it. SDG number 1. Africa without poverty. Where is the role of the accountant? That's why ACOA came to Rwanda. Thank you.
Anybody wants to ask a question in French? Yes. Let's first go to French.
Merci beaucoup. Je m'appelle Kevin, je suis le journaliste de BTN. Ma question s'adressait à le président, nouveau président de PAFA. Le problème de flux financiers illicités s'aggravait particulièrement sur le continent d'Afrique. Quel est le rôle des comptables professionnels dans le traitement de ce problème? Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Merci pour cette question très pertinente. Comme l'a déjà dit Monsieur le Président de l'IFAC et Monsieur le Président de l'ICPAR, nous, en tant qu'experts comptables et que comptables, nous avons des standards et des normes que nous appliquons sur plusieurs thématiques et nous parlons toujours le même langage à l'échelle internationale. Donc, en ce qui concerne la lutte anti-blanchiment et la lutte contre le financement du terrorisme, nous avons également la même chose. Nous avons des standards qui sont appliqués par les comptables pratiquement de la même manière un peu partout dans le monde et qui sont dans certains pays adoptés par des réglementations et des lois. Donc le rôle des comptables dans cet aspect-là est de renforcer la transparence financière et lorsqu'on fait de l'audit aussi, nous avons toute une thématique, toute une section qui est dédiée pour la lutte anti-blanchiment et financement du terrorisme. Nous avons dans certains pays une obligation d'alerter les autorités lorsqu'il y a des flux illicites de financement. Et au niveau de la PAFA, nous travaillons sur l'ensemble de ces aspects-là, parce que parfois nous avons des réglementations différentes, mais ces différences et ces expériences permettent d'améliorer les standards que nous sommes en train d'appliquer, sachant que les concepts fondamentaux restent les mêmes. Donc nous avons un rôle qui est très important parce que, comme l'a dit aussi Monsieur le Président de l'IFAC, nous avons deux qualités qui sont très importantes. Nous sommes indépendants et nous sommes intègres et nous sommes dans la pratique de ces deux principes au quotidien, notamment par rapport à votre question concernant la lutte anti-blanchiment. Merci.
Thank you. My name is Jean-Baptiste Nkurunziza, TV1 journalist. I have two questions. One belongs to IFAC President. You meet Rwanda's Prime Minister, you have a discussion. What can we expect from that discussion you have with Mr. Edouard Ngirente, Prime Minister of Rwanda? Ikibazo cyanjye cya kabiri ndakibaza perezida w'inama y'ubutegetsi ya ICPAR Bwana Obadiah Biraro, ngira ngo mu byaganiriweho turi kuvuga ukwihuza kwa Afurika ndetse no gukorera mu mucyo mu bijyanye no n'ibaruramari ry'umwuga. Ese murabona iyi nama hari icyo igiye gusiga ku kwihuza kwa Afurika? Hari isoko rusange rya Afurika tubona, ese mwe murabigiramo uruhare ruhe nk'abaruramari b'umwuga? Ese hari icyo twakwizera none mu kuzamura ubunyamwuga muri uru rwego? Murakoze.
Natangiriraho warugeze ngo kwihuza kwa Afurika n'uyu mwuga w'ubukontabure. All this is part of the Lagos OAU. By then it was OAU, the OAU Lagos Plan of Action. Wagerageza kureba icyo yavugaga, ariko noneho you accelerate the vision. I think is it 2035? Yes, icyerekezo 2035 2035 ukabyihutisha ukagera ku cyerekezo 2063. None ukabaza ngo ngira une naho ikibazo cya gishingiye, uyu mukontabure ari hehe? Ni wa mukontabure ukoramo ntabure? Koramo ntabure? No, we have outlived that. Ibyo twarabirenze, ni nacyo iyi institute y'u Rwanda igerageza gukemura. Ibibazo bigaragara muri uko kwihuza kwa Afurika. Isi abantu ntabwo bihuza barya ubusa, bihuza bafite ibyo basangira. Now ibibazo bikunze kubonekamo bizana inzitizi muri uko kwihuza. Ese umukontabure ntabwo uyu mukontabure w'umwuga ntabwo yagira uruhare mu gukemura ibyo bibazo? Wabyumvise Minister wacu, Minister of Commerce yabikomojeho. At indege kuki itiki yo kuva ahangaha i Kigali kugera Lagos ihenze kurusha itiki kuva hano kujya muri ibyo bihugu bindi, London, Brussels n'ahandi. Icyo ni ikibazo ngira ngo umukontabure w'umwuga bihugu aho tukorera bakwiriye kwimvorovinga umukontabure muri ibyo bibazo. Ikindi yavuze kijyanye n'ibyo ni ngira ngo mujya mwumva East African Common Market. Buriya ntacyo umukontabure afite gufasha gukemura biriya bibazo. Ese bigeze niba se bitari byakemuka, isn't it high time twazana umukontabure? Kandi ibihugu bimwe bimaze kugenda bibigeraho, cyane cyane the East Park of Kenya, mwagenda mugerageza kureba, ndetse na cycle of South Africa, kuinvolvinga umukontabure mu gukemura ibibazo bitubera inzitizi muri kwa kwihuza kwa Afurika. East African Customs Management Act uzayirebe, umukontabure ntakwiriye kuzamo. Bijyanye cyane no management za revenue authority z'ibi bihugu, uhere muri East Africa ugere muri za ECOWAS, SADC n'ahandi. Magharibi, is it Magharibi? Yes. Uyu mukontabure ntiyazamo, and mukwiriye kubibona yuko umukontabure, sinzi uko nabivuga mu Kinyarwanda neza, our work is to tangibilize the intangibles. Biriya abantu bavuga bidafatika, twebwe tugerageza gukora ku buryo bifatika, bikagira definition, bikazamura imyumvire uko abantu bumva ibibazo nuko ibyo bibazo byakemuka. Kwihuza kwa Afurika rero kukwiriye kuba gushingiyeho kuri bya bindi bahuriraho trade. You cannot have a meaningful trade without valuing the work of the accountant. Uyu mukontabure atabirimo, atazana za raporo zikwiriye kuba zikoreshwa. Iyo trade, free trade area, ngira ngo yes bizashoboka, ariko bizatwara igihe kinini. Umukontabure akwiriye kugira uruhare kubyihutisha muri uko gukemura ibibazo. ujya wumva arbitration ngo they have gone to court of arbitration gukemura impaka. Ntabwo izo impaka zikemuwe nta mukontabure urimo w'umwuga. Uzagenda ubaze the Kigali Arbitration Center, umukontabure ajyazamo ate? Iyo yaje mu biroro, institute iri hano, dufite capacity, nidahari turayishaka, twisunge, mutugane, na biriya bigenda buhoro bizashoboka. Niko nasubiza. Hari ikindi?
And regarding your first question, yes, we were very honored, and we are all of us were present to be to have a meeting with the Right Honorable Prime Minister yesterday. This was an opportunity for us to congratulate and thank the Rwanda government and the Prime Minister and the Honorable Minister of Finance who attended and who opened the session of the ACOA. It was an opportunity to thank them and congratulate them for the very high level of collaboration with the profession and for their presence. And it was also a way to express how we admire what has been done throughout the 10 or 15 years to have the profession being part of the action of the government in terms of public financial management and to gain from this mutual work. So this was the first item, and the second item was also to share our views, because at IFAC we are a member organization which has 187 members. So we have the privilege to try to promote the profession globally and to be truly global, which is probably the only profession in our economy and in our society which had this true impact on the world. So it was an opportunity to share with the Right Honorable Prime Minister what are the main challenges for this profession, and some of them have been covered now. Sustainability is on top of the agenda, but also small and medium entities. How do we as accountants work with small and medium entities and give them support? Also the question of artificial intelligence and the impact on the profession, and how will it change and how do we manage with this the future of our profession. We also shared our views on public interest mandate, which we already have covered. And finally, we talked about attractivity, because in some countries, in some parts of the world, we are very attractive. In some others, we are less attractive. And this is why also it is very important to talk together at the level of PAFA, at the level of the continent, but also on a worldwide approach. And finally, we talked about public interest, which I already commented upon. Thank you very much.
Murakoze. Ku bijyanye na bimwe mu byaganiriweho, hari ikintu kibanzweho cy'uburyo iyo ureba umubare wa business dufite mu Rwanda, ugenda ubona business dufite ni nyinshi, kandi umubare mu by'ukuri urasa nkaho ukiri hasi, kuko buri muntu wese yakagombye kubona umubare w'umwuga bitamugoye. Tuganira ku buryo iyo gahunda yatangira muri za segonderi, amashuri yisumbuye, ku buryo abana bari muri za accounting option batangira kwiga, bakiga comptabilité, bakabasha gukora n'ibizamini bya certified accounting technician. Iyo ni gahunda turimo kuganiraho na za REB n'inzego zitandukanye, banatwijeje n'ubufatanye bwa leta muri izo gahunda, kugira ngo turusheho guteza imbere umwuga, turusheho no kugira uruhari rufatika mu iterambere ry'igihugu. Murakoze.
Thank you. My name is Amanda Bahenda from EMG TV, and my question is addressed to anyone. how are young professionals being included in your vision, and how can they also help to achieve your vision? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I've been selected to answer. I'm not sure whether I'm in the age bracket of the young people, but I'll attempt to answer that. I think, indeed, we've all taken note of the fact that we have a big and growing young population. And I think over the last 3-4 days, we also heard that there is a major deficit of accountants across the continent. I think we are told a number that is less than 150,000 across the entire continent, professional accountants. And if you compare that with the available businesses, we're told that the number of businesses that actually need these accountants are quite many. They are in tens of millions. So I think what we are trying to do as an institute is twofold. One is to create awareness about the profession and the opportunities that the profession offers. And as a country, we know that there's a huge demand for accountants. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to work with institutions of higher learning. We've gone for career days. We've educated the students about the profession. What does it take to join? What are the benefits? And how can the institute support them on that journey? So that is one aspect, to create awareness about the profession and how these young people can join the profession. But that's only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin we know is that some of the young people may be interested but have constraints to do with funding and access to being able to actually go through that education process. Some of them may not have the financial means to do that. So what we've also tried to do is to seek out partners that can address that gap. And if you've been following some of the things that we've been doing, we've signed MOUs, and we've brought on partners that can actually provide the required funding to these students to study, and then later on in life, when they're able to find gainful employment, then they can pay back that money and pay back with no interest, which is obviously a huge thing. So that addresses the funding need. And then the third aspect, and part of it has been spoken about by the CEO, is then to say, is our qualification robust enough? Robust enough so that when someone qualifies, they don't just get employment today, but they can actually remain gainfully employed into the future. And I think some of the things that we are doing, in addition to revamping our program, you've heard the CEO and the president of our institute talk about rolling out a digital program. We are going to completely overhaul our program and put everything on the internet. People will be able to study and do their exams virtually. So that obviously ensures that a lot of the aspects to do with digital finance, automation, and AI are going to be covered in that new program, but also create flexibility, because people are working, people are mobile, people are busy. People don't have time to come and sit in a classroom. So also that is going to address another major concern to do with accessibility of our programs and being able to increase the number of young people joining. But last but not least, I'm hoping that also hosting a continental event like ACOA has inspired a lot of our young people. You can imagine just, being able to interact with the president of IFAC, interact with the president of PAFA. Even for me, who has been in the industry for close to 20 years, I am truly excited. I was having goosebumps the other day when I was seated next to the president of IFAC. It's not something that happens often. So I'm hoping that by hosting this continental event, I hope and pray that it has inspired a lot of young people. It has made them realize that this profession is truly global. It has a high impact on the economic development of a country, and that there are opportunities from a professional perspective to actually join the profession and make meaningful employment into the future. So I hope I've tried to answer your question. Thank you.
Uko mwabonye hariya, you see, ka gaciro k'abanyarwanda. Mwari nk'ubu mbajije ikibazo hariya aho twari turi kuwa kabiri. What was the biggest number per country? Ibihugu PAFA country membership 56. Mbabajije ngo what were the biggest number? Ni ikihe gihugu muri 56 cyohereje abantu benshi kurushaho? Mwaba mukizi? Ni ikihe? Where? You are wrong, Bana. You get 0 out of 10. It is the Republic of Rwanda. No. The host was ICPAR versus with PAFA. Rwanda was number 1 in sending delegates. When I use that delegates, am I right? Rwanda sent delegates to a COA function taking place in Rwanda, hosted by ICPAR, in collaboration, in conjunction with PAFA. The biggest number of delegates were Rwandans. 500 and what? 500 and what? 535. So ibyo rero mugomba kubiha agaciro byo kuvuga ngo naho John yavuze ngo the young stars, my dear sister there, yabaje ngo the young stars who make about 65% of the population batahanye iki. The biggest number per single country out of 56 countries was Rwanda, 535. Noneho muri kwa kundi kuvuga ngo 65%, 65% by'abaturage population ni mwebwe the Gen Zs. Aho wenda 535 wenda ntibari mwebwe gusa the Gen Zs. Ubwo rero the sky is the limit for you guys. You have seen it. Rwanda can host 2003. Si mwebwe ni mwari muhari. Therefore, please, from today onwards, your sisters, your brothers, tuzaya tubabona hano hasi bafiringa form bayohereza kwa CEO to be za qualifications CEO yaberetse hariya guhera hasi kuri CAT. Umunyarwandakazi uri mu myaka nka 20 ufite CAT akagenda agafungura iduka hariya mu Gakiriro kenkiri, I can assure you will just excel, not only in business no gutanga umusoro ya IBM. So ibyo rero ntimubitware ko ari ibintu byo gukinisha ba bantu wabarije ugenda ubabwire ngo mwari 535 and agaciro k'abanyarwanda naho gashingira. The day, the hour is now. Today. Start now. Thank you.
So I think looking at the time, we've heard the team for quite some time and it's approaching lunch. So I'd like to request that we close this press conference, and a very, very warm thank you to the team that has managed to put this together, but also to you for honoring this invitation and for closing a COA. Meet halfway, because we still have another big event this evening, but I also like to extend an invitation to the gala dinner to the press. It will happen at Kankigali, starting from 7. So thank you so much, and see you later. Have a good day. Thank you.